Everything you have ever been told about getting rich is a total lie designed to keep you broke and chasing ghosts. You are being programmed to worship the tech genius in a hoodie or the day trader on a yacht. But the real millionaires are hiding in plain sight, and they smell like garbage in Greece. While you were busy trying to find the next viral crypto coin or building a saturated dropshipping store, the guy who cleans your septic tank is quietly building a $10 million empire while wearing stained overalls. This isn't just about working hard. It's about a hidden financial backdoor that nobody talks about because it isn't sexy enough for Instagram. But the single most disgusting job on this list actually created a secret billionaire who lives in your neighborhood right now, and the way he did it is so genius it will change your life forever. You probably wake up every single morning thinking that you need some revolutionary idea or a high-tech startup to finally escape the rat race and achieve true financial freedom. We are living in a world where everyone wants to be a creator or a coach, yet they are ignoring the massive piles of cash sitting in the unglamorous industries that actually keep society running. Think about the businesses that people absolutely hate to do or even think about, because those are exactly the places where the competition is non-existent and the profit margins are astronomical. At Fiscal Awakening, we are tearing back the curtain on the invisible economy of boring wealth, because the truth is that boredom is actually your greatest competitive advantage in a world obsessed with fleeting excitement. Today, we are breaking down the exact mechanics of how these normal, everyday people are turning mundane tasks into massive generational fortunes right now. Let's start with the guy you call when your basement is flooded with 2 feet of raw sewage and your life feels like it is falling apart. You see a plumber, but what you should see is a high-margin cash machine that is literally recession-proof because people will stop buying iPhones long before they stop fixing their toilets. While the tech industry is currently being decimated by artificial intelligence and massive layoffs, the demand for physical trade services is skyrocketing because nobody in the younger generation wants to get their hands dirty anymore. This massive labor shortage has created a vacuum where a simple plumbing business can easily scale into a multi-city operation worth tens of millions of dollars in just a few years. It is not about turning the wrench yourself. It is about building a system that solves a painful, urgent problem that people are desperate to pay for today. The reason most people fail to build wealth is that they are looking for something that feels exciting and validates their ego, rather than looking for something that actually works. We have been conditioned to believe that work should be a constant stream of passion and inspiration, but the millionaires next door know that passion is often a distraction from profit. When you choose a boring job, you are choosing a path where the barriers to entry are psychological rather than financial, because most people simply refuse to even try. Imagine owning a commercial laundry service that washes linens for hospitals and hotels every single day without fail, regardless of what the stock market is doing. It is repetitive, it is loud, and it is incredibly humid, but the recurring revenue from those contracts is more stable than almost any tech subscription service you can imagine in this current market. Consider the industry of waste management, which is perhaps the most overlooked goldmine in the history of the modern world. Every single human being on this planet creates trash every day, and the logistics of moving that trash from point A to point B is a logistical puzzle worth trillions of dollars. You might think of garbage men as low-income workers, but the owners of private hauling companies are often some of the wealthiest individuals in their respective counties. They own the trucks, they own the routes, and most importantly, they own the disposal sites, which act as literal toll booths for society's waste. Because nobody wants to live near a landfill or see a garbage truck, the regulatory hurdles create a massive moat that protect these businesses from new competitors. This is the ultimate boring business because it is literally built on the things that everyone else wants to throw away. Now let's look at the world of HVAC and climate control, an industry that has become a mandatory requirement for modern civilization to even function in most parts of the world. When an air conditioning unit fails in the middle of a record-breaking heat wave, that customer is not looking for a discount. They are looking for a solution at any price. This creates an incredible environment for high-ticket sales and long-term maintenance contracts that provide a steady stream of predictable income for the business owner. Many of these HVAC companies are being bought up by private equity firms right now for massive multiples because the cash flow is so reliable and the business model is so scalable. You don't need to be a thermodynamics engineer to understand that as the world gets hotter, the person who keeps the air cool is going to be the one who gets rich fast. Moving on to the world of commercial cleaning and janitorial services, which is an industry often dismissed as being for the uneducated or the desperate. However, the reality is that every skyscraper, every school, and every hospital requires a massive army of people to keep it sanitary and operational every single night. The genius of this business lies in the contract structure, where you can secure multi-year agreements that provide guaranteed monthly payments regardless of the economic climate. By focusing on specialized cleaning, such as medical-grade sanitation or industrial degreasing, you can charge premium rates that far exceed the cost of the labor involved. It is a game of scale and management where the owner eventually steps away from the mop and begins managing a fleet of hundreds of employees.
This is how a normal person goes from cleaning one office to owning a regional cleaning powerhouse. Let's talk about pest control, another industry that thrives on the things that make most people's skin crawl with disgust and immediate discomfort. When someone finds termites in their foundation or a colony of rats in their attic, they are experiencing a visceral emotional reaction that leads to an immediate purchase. This is a high-margin service business where the cost of materials is relatively low compared to the specialized knowledge and equipment required to solve the problem. The best part is that pest control is rarely a one-time fix. It requires ongoing quarterly inspections and treatments to ensure the problem never returns. This creates a compounding effect where your customer base grows every single month, leading to a massive valuation when it comes time to sell the business. It is a dirty job, but the financial rewards are incredibly clean and provide a level of security. Even in the white-collar world, the most boring sectors are often the most lucrative for those who are willing to embrace the monotony of the work. Take accounting and tax preparation, which many people find to be the most soul-crushing and tedious profession imaginable in our modern society. However, the complexity of the tax code is a permanent job security program that ensures every business owner in the country will always need professional help. While the flashy marketing consultants are struggling to find clients, the boring accountant has a line out the door every single spring without even trying. By focusing on a specific niche, such as construction accounting or international tax law, these professionals can command rates that rival those of top-tier corporate attorneys. It is not about the excitement of the work, it is about the essential nature of the service and the value provided. Landscaping is another prime example of a boring job that hides a massive potential for wealth creation if you approach it with a business mindset. Most people see a guy with a lawnmower, but a savvy entrepreneur sees a route-based business with high density and low customer acquisition costs over the long term. By focusing on high-end residential estates or commercial properties, you can add on high-margin services like irrigation repair, landscape lighting, and seasonal plantings. The recurring nature of lawn maintenance provides the foundation, while the specialized projects provide the massive surges in profit that allow for rapid expansion. We have seen people start with a single used truck and grow into a fleet of 30 vehicles serving an entire metropolitan area within a decade. It is hard physical work in the beginning, but the end result is a diversified asset worth millions of dollars. One of the most important concepts to understand is the idea of the dirty moat, which is the barrier to entry created by social stigma. Most people are more concerned with how their job title sounds at a dinner party than how much money is actually sitting in their bank account. This social pressure keeps thousands of potential competitors away from industries like septic tank pumping, industrial power washing, or crime scene cleanup services. When you are willing to do the things that others are too proud or too squeamish to do, you are effectively operating in a blue ocean. You can charge higher prices because there are fewer options for the consumer, and you can recruit employees more easily by paying slightly above market rates. The dirty moat is a psychological fortress that protects your profit margins and allows you to build a dominant position. The secret to making millions in these boring jobs is not about working harder than everyone else. It is about scaling your systems and your people. A plumber who works alone will always be limited by the number of hours in a day, but a plumbing business owner is limited only by their ability to hire. You must transition from the technician who does the work to the manager who oversees the operations, and eventually to the owner who sets the vision. This transition is where the real wealth is created, as you move from earning an hourly wage to capturing the surplus value of an entire organization. Many of the millionaires we study at Fiscal Awakening started in the trenches, but they quickly realized that their true job was building a machine that works without them. This shift in perspective is what separates the worker from the individual. Let's look at the boring world of self-storage units, which is essentially just renting out empty boxes of metal and concrete to people with too much stuff. There are no toilets to fix, no employees to manage on site, and the overhead is incredibly low once the facility is built and operational. It is one of the most passive forms of real estate investment because the demand is driven by the 4 Ds: death, divorce, downsizing, and dislocation. These life events happen regardless of the economy, making self-storage one of the most resilient asset classes in existence for the modern investor. You are literally charging people to store things they don't even use, and if they stop paying, you simply auction off the contents and rent the space to the next person. It is a cold, calculated, and incredibly boring business that creates massive wealth. Another overlooked goldmine is the equipment rental industry, where you buy expensive machinery and rent it out to people who only need it for a day. Think about things like backhoes, industrial generators, or even high-end party tents that cost a fortune to purchase but generate massive daily rental fees. The business model is simple. You manage the maintenance and the logistics, and the equipment pays for itself in a matter of months or years. After the initial investment is recouped, every single rental after that is almost pure profit, minus the cost of a little grease and some fuel. This business thrives because most small contractors cannot afford to own every piece of specialized equipment they might need for a specific job site. You become the essential partner that allows other businesses to function, taking a small piece of their revenue every time. Have you ever thought about who provides the uniforms for mechanics or the fresh towels for the gym you visit every single morning? Uniform and linen rental services are the ultimate hidden in plain sight businesses that generate massive amounts of recurring revenue with very little fanfare. Companies sign long-term contracts to have their laundry picked up, cleaned, and replaced on a strict schedule that never fluctuates regardless of the season. This creates a predictable cash flow that allows the business owner to plan for expansion and invest in the latest automated laundering technology. It is a logistics game that relies on route density and operational efficiency, making it incredibly difficult for a new competitor to come in and steal your market share. While the world is talking about the latest software update, these business owners are quietly collecting huge checks for washing clothes. Roofing is often seen as one of the most grueling and dangerous jobs in the construction industry, which is exactly why it is so incredibly profitable. A leaking roof is a catastrophic emergency for a homeowner or a business owner, and they will pay a significant premium to have it fixed immediately. The sales cycles are short, the margins are high, and the demand is constant because roofs eventually wear out or get damaged by storms every year. By building a reputation for reliability and quality, a roofing company can dominate a local market and command prices that leave plenty of room for profit. It is a business that requires strong management and a focus on safety, but the financial upside is virtually unlimited for those who can scale. You are providing a critical layer of protection for people's most valuable assets. To truly understand why these boring jobs make so